Good morning, Kim and Nicole. In just a couple short hours, we'll see John Edwards walk back into the courtroom. The big question, of course, will he walk out a free man, a convicted felon? A lot of people will be keeping a close eye on that containment line. Now, some reaction we've gotten from people, they're wondering why did they go ahead with this controlled burn with the way the weather was.
It was the wind that was bothersome. Now it's the rain. I mean, I almost feel like I'm getting my face tattooed out here, guys. By the ocean, where we've seen some pretty nasty waves. Here comes one, almost came right now. These, the high tide was about 8 to 8:15 a.m. These waves so high it actually touched the window of our second floor hotel room.
We're talking about helium, an odorless gas first discovered in 1868, and there's plenty of it in space. But not so much here on planet Earth, and the recent shortage is causing problems for the little guy, like Balloons to Go here in King, a business that says helium is the oxygen to their survival. You heard off the top of our show, this is some pretty serious stuff. We saw patient after patient walk in here stunned to get one of these notices telling them the doors will be closing August 30th. All appointments after August 9th canceled. They found out through a Aggie campus alert on their cell phones. It came in at about 9:44, 9:45, and it reads, Aggie alert, black male carrying a rifle on campus. That's one of the most important lessons. If you get bullied, don't try to fight back. Either avoid the situation or run away. For instance, let's say this is happening to me right now. You create some space with your feet and hands, and when the opportunity arises, get up and run away. Everybody in town is dancing tonight. They're all doing the twist. The song, of course, came out in 1960. Now, the record they're trying to break, most people doing the twist at one time. They've got to do it for 5 minutes. The record.
He's got some moves.
Cam and Wanda, we spoke to 15-year-old Antoine Porter and his father to get answers to the two questions on everyone's minds. What happened and why? The two still shell-shocked over how close he came to losing his life.
Just centimeters away. Just centimeters away.
That was the difference between life and death. It was Friday afternoon, just after the planned fire drill. Porter's back was turned to the shooter. He never saw it coming.
I just heard foul, 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 gunshot, 3 gunshots, like back to back.
The first hit his neck. You see where the bullet exited. A shoulder wound from the second shot. The third grazed his neck. His ears ringing and face numb. Blood began streaming down his body. Antoine now realizing he was shot.
I was just like kind of like stumbling over and stuff, like holding my neck like this. Yes. And so I turned around like, I got shot, somebody help me, somebody help me.
Lightheaded and disoriented, Antoine remembers the screams from horrified witnesses as he staggered through the hallway, fighting to stay conscious.
That's when I was like, I can't get knocked out, I can't, because I felt like if I would have fainted or something, I wouldn't have made it.
Paramedics would arrive about 5 minutes later. The family takes exception with investigators who say the shooting stems from an ongoing dispute. While Antoine and the alleged shooter share the same bus route, they rarely speak, more strangers than even acquaintances. Antoine says he and the alleged shooter, Christopher Richardson, did have a misunderstanding last year over payment for a Nintendo Wii, but it never got physical and the two cleared the air. In fact, just earlier last week, Antoine says he tried to check up on him after hearing he was jumped.
After then, I just locked him up like, you cool, man. And then I just walked away. That's the last time I talked to him.
His family also wants to say he is not part of any gang. And get this, Cam and Wanda, he actually ran into the shooter's father at a store over the weekend. We'll have more on that conversation coming up at 6. Back to you guys. All right. Now that it's all over and everyone's safe, we can look back and smile when one of the little boys tells us that this was just one big adventure, but just moments of pure terror for both the parents and their children. They were actually found huddled together trying to sleep. One of the fathers tells us it was about a 45-minute hike from where this all began.
I was like an hour from home yet. And there was nothing I could do but just drive and try to get home.
Matt Sanders said all he could do was pray when his son and his 3 friends, ages 7, 7, and 5, disappeared into the woods from a nearby backyard. As the sun set and the temperature dropped, the kids were unable to find their way home and grew desperate for rescue.
It started sleeting and I didn't have a hood, so the sleet got on my head and I was getting cold. I started shivering. We saw a plane and waved at it and yelled at it.
But to no avail. One of his friends even said they'd die out there. While they cried, Caleb did not, and he tried to calm them down.
It's going to be okay. Somebody might find us and take us home.
About 7 hours after it all began, around 1 a.m., that someone turned out to be Caleb's uncle, one of more than 100 people scouring the woods. The kids were sleeping together on a rock when they heard adults calling their name.
Relief is like an elephant coming off your chest.
And what did your parents say to you when they first saw you and when they got you back? What did they tell you?
Don't do that again.
I'm Rob Wu, WXI 12 News.
Kim and Nicole, Betty Allgood has the need for speed, and she heads off to Ohio with a clear mission: come back with the one thing that has so far eluded her.
The jewelry around her neck is a sign of greatness, but
There's only one thing missing from this collection.
A gold.
she actually came really close in 2009.
When I finished the race, I said, yeah, you got the gold. And then when I went to get the medal, they said you were disqualified.
Hoping for redemption, she trains here at Haynes Park 3 times a week, while also teaching a class.
People think that race walking is just fast walking, and it's not.
Only one way to find out.
Well, I can't see your knees. You can't race walk with pants on.
Okay then. Any more questions, Betty?
Maybe a few.
The 2 big rules: when the heel is down, the knee has to be locked. 1 foot must touch the ground at all times.
She's fast.
Her students don't seem too impressed.
You're not marching in the East German Army.
Step it up, Rob. You're in first gear.
Let's see who can really handle the pressure when we do it for real.
Hey, I'm turning on the jets, but Betty's right here.
Come on, let's go.
Oh my God! She just hit the O2. She just hit the nitrous oxide. Betty, go! Betty!
With the finish line in sight, I'm falling behind. Time to dig deep.
Wait a minute! I did it! I won! What?
Cheater!
Go on, just go on. It was fair and square.
You ran,
I didn't run.
You did!
Check the videotape.
Now, we would show you the replay, but the video got lost. And by got lost, I mean I destroyed it. Now, on a more serious note, Betty did beat me, but she actually has another member of the WXI 12 morning team that she really has her sights on.
Hey, Austin. I didn't hear from my email. The challenge is still on board. I challenge you to a race walk race. So I need to hear from you, Austin Cavanis. Please listen up.
And I'm going to instigate a little bit here. Betty, if he declines this, does this mean A, he's scared, or B, he knows he's going to lose?
He's scared and he knows he's going to lose.
Ooh, so Betty Allgood has thrown down the gauntlet. We'll send it back to the studio for Austin's response.